I was asked to apologize to the individual for losing their life as a result of that car accident. And then I was asked to make a commitment. And the commitment was to... Hello, my name is Pej. I'm an interventionist that specializes in helping people with drug addiction, alcoholism, or mental health. Today's topic is about what happens when you decide that you actually want to be sober. So from personal experience, I will say that I am over 14 years sober. It didn't just happen right away. It wasn't like I just made this decision. I believe that there was a series of events that hinted at the point that I should probably get sober. Certain things were happening to me. The drugs were always working. I've heard people in recovery say the drugs stopped working. The drugs were always working. Unless they were cut, then they were working less. But it wasn't something that actually made me want to get sober. I did realize that my life was unmanageable and I wasn't able to control my emotional being. I didn't know how to be happy. I didn't know how to be sad. I was just numbing out for a long time, and I knew that my life wasn't working for me. I was losing things, and they were tangible things, but that wasn't something that was actually making me say I must get sober. I needed to actually get into the path of recovery by asking for help. This was the biggest thing that I feared the most in life, was to actually show myself to somebody else and in a weak state and ask them, can you please do whatever you can to help me? And by doing so, they led me on a path, and I got on that path to recovery. Now, when I was in that path, it wasn't like, again, I wasn't yet completely sold on the idea that I need to stay 100% sober. It was, again, a series of events that happened in the recovery process, which led me in the direction of coming to the point where I need to make a decision. I'm either going to do this or I'm not. It was do or die. Like I need to either follow what these people are suggesting to me, or recommending, or even demanding, or I just I go back out and I use again. So in order for me to make an absolute decision, I needed to have a turning point, something that was going to make me decide that there's no looking back. Like, I'll look back, I will not regret the past, but I don't wish to shut the door on it. However, I do know that when I did go through a psychodrama, which was in my case as a result of a very traumatic experience that had happened, where there was a car accident and somebody lost their life, and I was driving behind the wheel when that person lost their life. They didn't lose their life right away, but because I hit them, they died about 4 days later from extensive brain damage because they were on a bicycle and they were flung over my car hood and then another car on top of that. And so I carried this guilt and shame for a long time, anguish, remorse. And when I was actually in a treatment recovery home, I had somebody that did a psychodrama, and we relived the day of my car accident. And after going through that process, I just remember there was a lot of emotions. My mother was there. She was crying, to see her face shaking and seeing the emotions that she was showing, as well as everybody else in the room. Everyone was in tears. I remember somebody had laid this kid on the ground. They put my hand over. It wasn't the kid himself. It was somebody else representing the kid. It was supposed to be the corpse of the kid, and they put a sheet over it. But when I was talking and going through the motions of the day of my car accident and reliving that day, I was then asked to forgive myself. I was asked to apologize to the individual for losing their life as a result of that car accident. And then I was asked to make a commitment. And the commitment was to, my personal commitment, and this came out of my mouth, was to help addicts, alcoholics of every race, creed, age, and color, one day at a time for the rest of my life. Now, next morning I woke up and I just remember thinking, I feel different. Like, I've now gotten to a point where I realize I need to be on the path of recovery 100%, like 100. I cannot go back. I don't want to get high anymore. I don't want to ever forget that this has happened now. If I went back out and I relapsed, I would be a complete loser. I don't want to be a loser anymore. I want to be a winner. And it was in that point where the turning point just took shape and form. I was like, this is it. Like, now I need to do everything I need to do to change my life. And from there, I was told to go to school, to learn drug and alcohol studies, to work in the field, to work on the front lines, helping addicts and alcoholics. I started at a very low level job and just worked my way up. And I was hopeful, because now recovery wasn't just part of my being; it was now my profession. I went to school to learn how to help other people, how to conduct groups and run groups and case manage. And it was really interesting. Like at 5 years of sobriety, I was case managing in a treatment center. And 5 years before that, I couldn't even manage my own case. So it's things that made me hopeful. It's the spiritual giants that came before me, the guys and women that had been examples for me that demonstrated what real recovery was about. People that had completely transformed their lives, and then they empowered me. They showed me my shortcomings. They put a mirror in front of me, but they also empowered me to find the best version of myself and to go out and be effective and help people. And that is what happened for me. And I hope it could happen for you. If you're suffering, please know that there's hope and that you're more than what you think you are when you are suffering from addiction or alcoholism, or just in that downward spiral where you're drowning in the abyss of addiction. So if you or someone that you know is suffering with addiction and you really, really want to stop, but you don't know how to stay stopped and you want some help, please do not hesitate to call me. You can call this number right here.